experience with the film, what we took away from it, go one by one, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A shortly after. So I'll start with you, Tonnell. Please tell us what you took away from the film and what was memorable for you.
I think one of the things that was a good highlight of the film was us sharing our stories and hearing each and every individual stories and what they went through, and I had a good time, a good chance to share mine as well, and that helped me out. I mean, being in a movie with Miss Olympia and some of the top fitness athletes and cover models, I always wanted to be a cover model myself. So it's like I took their information and I went on with that after the movie, and I actually qualified for the 2015 Olympia after that. And also too, a humbling experience, listening to Greg Plitt, listening to what he had to say and his advice. You're going to get that in the movie as well, and you can take that yourself and it will help out with your journey. So just getting everybody's, just sucking everybody's brain at the same time. These guys are very intelligent and they're here for a reason. And I just want to thank Candace again for choosing me. I'm very humbled to be in the movie. So yeah.
Blessed to have you, man. Blessed to have you.
Thank you.
Candace, it was your vision and your hard work, dedication, focus, fortitude, and unwavering commitment to the film to actually get this thing made. It's really hard to make movies. And it's really even a lot harder to make really good movies. And anyone that sees this knows that it's a really good movie, and it's not just about working out, it's about struggle. And that's what I think everyone identifies with in the movie. Everyone goes up, goes down, has struggles in life. And that's why this film really resonates with so many people across the world now. So Candace, thank you for making the movie, and please, share some insight with everybody from your perspective on the film and where it's at now and what we can expect in the future.
The reason why I made the film is I felt that there was a void in the marketplace for a film. When I make films, I make them about characters, about people, and the common thread that they had was fitness. And I think that every single person that enters the gym has a story. There's a reason why they're at the gym, whether it's a health concern, whether they've been bullied, whether it's low self-esteem, but everybody has a story. And I felt like it was, I thought it was the perfect time for me to bring this group of athletes together and to share their story, because you can follow Jeremy and see his training techniques and Hani's but for a movie I didn't want it to be about how much they bench press, but more about what their life experiences are like and what makes them the champion that they are. And so that was the purpose for me to make the film.
And it was a job well done. Yes, give it up. There were hundreds of hours of footage, literally hundreds of hours, 2 different camera crews. She didn't tell you this, but she had to fire the original director halfway through making the thing. It was crazy, and she took the reins and said, no, this is my vision, boom. And really was the glue that made this thing as good as it is. When you're shooting that much footage, editing is very, very, very difficult and takes a long time. I won't bore you with details, but to choose the right pieces and to put it together like a puzzle so it tells a great story and keeps everybody drawn in is very challenging. It's a tough job to do. And so she sat there with the editor day by day, making sure it was a great product. So it really resonated across the world. So thank you, Candace, for staying true to your vision, putting the film together, and your passion behind it really comes through in the final product. The other thing is, films like this, documentaries typically aren't made for money. They don't make a lot of money. They're made for passion. And it's clear that this was a passion project. She was passionate about it. She wanted to tell the hidden story that other people don't get to see about the struggles and the trials and tribulations that competitors and other athletes are people in the fitness industry go through to, you know, you see these Instagram feeds and these social media posts and you think, oh, life is great, you know, I look great, or, you know, I'm posting up me in my car and this, that, and the other. You don't really get to see behind the image, right? And so this movie really revealed the curtain and allowed you to see what makes each one of the people in the film tick, which is what's amazing about it. And it's hard to capture that. So thank you for doing that, Candace, your passion, and really putting it together in a way that resonated across the world. We had the pleasure of having Hani come on board. And Hani, as I mentioned when we introduced him, is a legend maker, no joke. He is, in my opinion, the best coach of all time when it comes to building Olympian champions. He also, as I mentioned, is the founder of Evogen, the main formulator for his supplement company. But we were blessed to have him on board. He shared some pearls of wisdom in the film, gave you a glimpse of what it's like to train a champion like Jeremy, and you get a little taste of that when watching the movie. And so, Hani, thanks for being a part of the film. Blessed to have you here, brother. Please share your experience.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and like we spoke about yesterday, you know, for those of you that weren't here, we spoke a little bit about the insight. So let me get a quick hands of who's actually seen the movie so far. Raise your hands. Okay, so for those who haven't seen it, besides probably the #1 place to go is Netflix right now? Yeah, Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, it is available on Netflix. So The Perfect Physique. I would definitely highly recommend watching it, but not just for the information that you get regarding the lifestyle, but the mindset of a champion. Whether it was Jeremy or any of the guys that were up here, or the guys that were featured, it's really, everybody has a driving force and something that motivates them. There's something in time where, whether with Jeremy, a lot of it's, I believe that the relationship he has with his father and being able to prove himself. With some of the other guys, it's maybe monetary, or it's something that's, they want to create some kind of status, and they want to be able to get to the point where they acquire assets, something that drives them. Most of the time, that trigger happens at a very young age, and the film gives into a lot of detail about that. So what I was really thankful for was they showed not just, here's your sets, here's your reps. It's really a well-rounded documentary, and it's really difficult to get that, especially because it was the first one of its kind. So for those of you who haven't seen it, please definitely go out and see it. For those of you who have seen it, definitely recommend it to people that are, you know, interested in our industry, because it definitely gives you a lot of insight into the mindset of a champion, or those that are trying to become a champion. So again, thank you for the opportunity of being in it.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it was my first opportunity to see a coach of his level coach a champion in Jeremy Buendia, and it was truly a great opportunity for someone like myself, even who's been in the industry a long time, to see that relationship and how the synergy creates champions like Jeremy. So Jeremy, we were blessed to have you as a part of the film. Obviously, Candace didn't know you were going to be the champion at the time when you signed on to do it, and everything just kind of worked out. My opinion, you probably should have won the year before, and I think other people feel the same way. But blessed that you did the second year, and we think you're going to continue to kick some ass moving forward. But please share your experience, brother.
Yeah, guys, first off, thank you guys very much for coming out and showing us support. It means a lot to all of us up here. If it weren't for you guys, none of this would be possible. So we genuinely appreciate you guys as our supporters, as our fans, as our followers, for, you know, everybody that's involved in the fitness industry. You know, it's continuously to grow, and every single year that I come to these expos and see the amount of faces in Greece, it just gives me a lot of hope for the future, and it's exciting. So thank you guys for the support. You know, moving on, just talking about the film and you know, what I got out of it. You know, this was shot about a month after I won my first title, and being a 23-year-old kid that just came off winning the Mr. Olympia Physique competition, a lot was going through my mind. You know, it was a big change in my life, and a lot of just a high energy moment. You know, a lot of things being thrown at me in a lot of different ways, a lot of emotions I could have gone. And going to this house, I knew I was going to be working with a lot of experienced athletes, guys that are a lot older than me, have been doing it for a long time. Some of my fellow competitors, guys that were my rivals, Physique, Jason, Tonnell, guys that I've been, you know, that have been wanting to take everything from me on stage. We just got off stage less than 4 weeks prior. What was going to be the experience? What was it going to be like in a house? You know, a bunch of big old dudes living in a house together. What was going to happen? You know, surprisingly, you guys, like, everybody was super cool. You know, I went into that house with the mindset to go in there and learn from the experienced guys. I knew this was a huge opportunity for me to learn the ins and outs from guys that have had more experience in the fitness industry, how to become successful. You know, some of these guys have made 7 figures in fitness, and I wanted to figure out how to do that. I was 23 years old, trying to figure out how I was going to make my way. You know, Mr. Olympia in the Physique division, you know, we have to work hard to pay our bills, and I wanted to figure out what we had to do to get to that next level of fitness. And you know, having guys like David and TJ who absolutely killed it for the last 20 years of fitness, it was a great experience to sit down and to really, you know, pick their brains. And I attribute a lot of my success in the fitness industry as well as my business career the past 3 years to what I learned while shooting this film from these guys and Greg Plitt, and you know, from Candace as well, and of course you guys, you know, Hani's been my right hand guy ever since the very beginning of my career, and you know, we've been continuing to kill it, and our, you know, Eve is continuously growing, and we're looking for our 4th title this year. Hani's 18th, so we're 7 weeks out, you guys. I'm my best ever. I'm more motivated than ever, and I'm hungry, and you guys have seen the best version of me in 7 weeks in Vegas.
Yeah, bring it up. Here's the number 4. And of course, David Morin, the man, the myth, the legend. So, yeah, thank you. He, you know, David and I had the pleasure of being friends before we ever shot the film. Great human being. Didn't take me long to realize that, you know, he's a special person, very intelligent guy, very philosophical guy. There's a lot behind the muscle. So, David, tell us, please, what is it that you got from the film, your experience? Please share.
Hey guys, thanks everybody for showing up. What I got from the film is I got inspired. You know, a lot of people like myself, as you're growing up and you're figuring out what's working for you in your life, you kind of stick to that and you stay in your lane, and you don't want to learn or listen to other people because you know what you're doing is working. And here I was surrounded by individuals like TJ, Tonnell, and especially the champ here, who was young and was ambitious and just, you know, driven. And so it took me out of my comfort zone and said, yeah, man, you know, like, you've done a few things, and you know, I'm a family man. I have 4 kids. I've got, you know, 2 boys. I went through a bad divorce, and I was like, man, what am I gonna learn from these guys, right? You know, but I learned so much in regards to never giving up and always trying new techniques, always getting something. I like to use the word glean. You glean something from someone else, and you give it a try, and the fact that you're not good at something really does work well for you at building your character. And so all these guys, eventually, after the first or second day, we were all kind of like, took a deep breath and kind of let go of our egos a little bit and realized that this film is much bigger than every single one of us as individuals. And we had a really good opportunity to pour a little bit of our lives out as individuals to make something really big. And I know TJ touched on this yesterday, but it's true. I'm gonna forever be attached to this film and these guys and that experience and the passing of my very close friend Greg Plitt, who was a huge motivator. And that's what I learned from the film, that some people live a life so amazing that they can touch you even from beyond the grave. And Greg is one of those people that is still touching me every day with some words that he said and some motivation that he gave. And all of these guys up here, they're all living by that same philosophy, that same mentality of give it all you got, try everything you can. You don't know when your last day is going to be, so make it everything today. Do your best.
Amen to that. Yes. For me, going into the film, I didn't know what to expect. I had a good long talk with Candace before shooting it, and just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be like a reality show where people were throwing mud at each other and knockdown, drag-out thing for ratings. And she promised that it was going to be a human story about each and every one of us, and we would have an opportunity to tell our own story. And to me, that was special, because even though I had done quite a few things in film and television, I was always playing somebody else. And so this was an opportunity to just be myself and to allow people to see who I was. And to me, that is why this film resonates with myself over any other film or television project that I've done to this day. And so I'm very, very proud of it because of that. And I'm proud of everybody that's in the film. And as David mentioned, our lives are literally a book, and we're writing that story every single day. Every page is a new day, every chapter is a new year. And this film is a nice little section in one of the chapters of my life that will always be a part of my life and every single one of these guys up here in the film, including Candace and the whole crew. And so we're always going to be a part of each other's lives, whether or not we're face to face or not. And so it's the bonding between the guys that I had already been friends with and the new friends that I had made from the film, to me, was the biggest takeaway. And seeing where the guys progress every single year, and running into my buddies at different fitness shows or competitions, and giving them big, warm, genuine hugs and support. And wanting every single one of them to be successful and to succeed, and when some of them fall, to help rise them up and keep everyone moving in the same direction. To me, that's what this film's about. Everyone's going to have struggle, everyone, right? But what do you do when you're faced with that adversity? For me, as a young kid, I turned to the gym when I was 12 years old to try to change myself, to try to get a little stronger, get a little bigger, so I didn't get bullied. And I learned that we didn't have to accept what was given to us, that we could change things that we didn't like, thankfully at a very young age. And so fitness for me has always been that coping mechanism. So if I get leveled with something emotional, I go train, and it lifts my endorphins, it chemically changes me, it's a natural Prozac, I feel great. But it also allows me to, in a sense, remove myself third person and think about things objectively afterwards, and it's so not so emotionally charged, so I can make clearer decisions instead of heated decisions in the moment. And when I have those downs, I've heard this expression before, hey man, 100 pounds is 100 pounds. The weight doesn't lie. And so the real message behind that is that it's always going to be that constant for you, that one thing you can trust that will always be there for you to lift you out of the trenches when you need it. And so, sometimes God doesn't hear your prayers. Sometimes you don't have a friend that you want to confide in, no matter what it is that you're going through. It might be something very personal, but you'll always have that personal space where you can go into the gym, put your headphones on, and work it out. And that's what training did for me, and that's really the message that I choose to share with the world, because I feel like if people can somehow get addicted to fitness and training and helping themselves naturally, then maybe they won't turn to alcohol or drugs or other destructive things, that they can turn to constructive things to help change their lives. And what the big takeaway also for me was with the film is that we all have our adversities, and you saw that if you saw the movie. Each guy had something that they overcame or that they wanted to prove themselves for. And the common thread between all of us was that we used fitness and training as the motivation to do that. And so that is the common bond that all of us share. And I think most people here probably share or want to share. And so for me, that was the biggest takeaway, and it was truly a blessing to do this film and to share that experience with everyone up here. So thank you all for being a part of my life and
Pleasure.
for the opportunity, man. One of the best scenes in the movie was the fire, where we're all sitting around just shooting the S and drinking a little wine and roasting s'mores and eating bad stuff and just talking out of our moons and just getting crazy. We had so much fun, and there, it's moments like that I take away from this, that I'll just be sitting there doing nothing one day randomly and something will pop in my head and I'll just start cracking up. Those are the precious little gems, But, with that being said, I think I've talked enough, and I want to open it up to questions, because I'm sure some of you have questions, and no matter what it is, please don't hesitate, don't be shy, and we've got a good 15-20 minutes for Q&A, so please just put your hand up and we'll